Hello everybody, today I'm going to be going through a little Word document that a student of mine has sent me. They want to have their English reviewed and to make sure that the structure and the grammar and all that is correct. So we're going to go through it and hopefully we can learn a thing or two. This person comes from an Italian background, Italian speaking background, so at least they're using the same alphabet. So obviously there's going to be very different considerations to be made depending on which language you're coming from. But anyways, here we go. Let's have a look. Why do I love movies and TV shows in their original version? As I am a super lazy person and a language learner, I think that movies and TV shows can put together what I like the most, staying at home. Now, obviously, a very small little thing here. Colon is used for lists. Staying at home is a list, I guess, but a one-item list is really just a comment. There's obviously a pause in that sentence, but a small pause, so a comma will suffice. I always watch movies and TV series in their original version, no matter the language. If it is one I don't know, I just put subtitles on. The magic of listening to the original voices of the actors makes me dream about distant places just sitting on my couch. Now, because there's no comma, you could actually think that the writer here is saying distant places are sitting on their couch. Because it says distant places just sitting on my couch. It's a bit like saying, makes me dream about puppies just sitting on my couch. The comma would be necessary. Another thing that could help is the word by. Just by sitting on my couch. Because then that therefore infers that the sitting is done by the viewer. Whilst the viewer is sitting on the couch, it helps them dream about distant places. I believe this is amazing. I believe that this is amazing. Many people don't understand the meaning of it, but for me it's just essential in order to fully lose myself in another culture. Actually, I don't get the meaning of dubbing, even if Italian dubbers are amongst the best in the world, or among the best in the world. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the difference between the two, but just like any time I want to see the difference between one and another. Among and amongst, what does it tell us? They mean the same thing, but one's more common in American English, one more common in British English. So there we go. I guess either or are fine then. However, there is a slight issue that I have with I don't get the meaning of dubbing. Meaning is a synonym for definition. Now, clearly the writer must know, or I should call it the author. The author must know that what the definition of dubbing is. So maybe something better might be the point of dubbing, or the purpose of dubbing, or the rationale behind the dubbing, the reason for dubbing. Something like that might be a little bit better than putting that. And I'm not sure actually if dubbers is a word. I've not seen it before. Again, like other things, we can just look that up. They can also be called voice actors, or you could just stretch it out longer and say, even if the people who are dubbing the voices in Italian are among the best in the world. And again, making reference to voice actors. Aside from that, the sentence is fine. I know that by reading the Italian subtitles, I still don't get the original words, but at least I can hear the real voice, stress, and accent of the actor. Very good. If I watch something in a language I speak, in a language that I speak, again, this is just something that is in English that you need to at times give a further joining word, which is absent in other languages. Because it was the same thing with up here, that I believe that this is amazing. If I watch something in a language that I speak, I always put original subtitles on, so I won't miss a word. Very good that it's got the comma. Good as brief pause in the sentence, well written. I used to tell people every day the importance of watching the original version, but after receiving so many no, so this should be a plural if she's getting the response of no from multiple people. For the most different reasons, I just gave up. Some people just aren't interested in foreign languages and they just speak Italian. So only might be a better word there, and they only speak Italian. Saying just can sort of make reference to something being lower in quality. You know, he's he's just a plumber. He's just a labourer, or something like this. He's just the cleaner. You know, these are. It doesn't always infer this, but it can. Saying only is a better word to describe it because it's saying that they're monolingual, that they're only speaking the one language. And sometimes not so well. Others just want to relax when they watch TV and they don't want to read subtitles instead of watching the scenes. The dots normally is when you obviously want to continue writing something else, but I'll just gloss over that. Which gloss over that means just sort of ignore it and move on. It's not that important to judge that one. Sometimes I succeed in convincing people, but those are just a few that really try and then tell me that I'm right about the beauty of the original version, but mainly because they're either linguists or cinephiles like me. I think the sentence is fine, just maybe could have done with a comma, so let's read it as I normally would. Sometimes I succeed in convincing people, comma, little pause. Sometimes I succeed in convincing people, but those are just a few that really try and tell me that I'm right about the beauty of the original version, but mainly because they're either linguists or cinephiles like me. Could almost have two commas in there before the buts. But is a very, very important word that we use in English that really separates clauses. So here we've got a couple of clauses here about the success in convincing people, about the beauty of the original version, and that the author being told that they're right about the beauty of the original version, and then obviously the final clause is in, well, you know, the main reason that people are agreeing with me or that I've convinced them is because they're actually similar to the author themselves. I hope one day I could enjoy movies in the original version. This probably would be better can, although could also works, could being a conditional, but it's a word that not only do we use for conditional tense, but also, actually I won't say conditional tense because conditional tense exists in some languages, Italian being one of them, but it does not exist in English. We have 12 tenses, and whilst a conditional word can be used, it doesn't actually alter. It doesn't have a standalone tense like it does in a number of languages: Spanish, French, Italian, and luckily many more. So I hope one day I can enjoy movies in their original version, or in the original version, at the cinema. I hope one day I can enjoy movies in the original version at the cinema. But I think that we are far away from getting there, especially in small towns like where I live. What I would recommend about this sentence would be, and the English is fine, just perhaps a little bit unconventional, especially this first part. I hope one day I can enjoy movies in the original version at cinema too. I know that what the author is trying to say is they want the original versions to be viewable at the cinema, just like the dubbed versions are. So you actually have the option of both, hence why they've said two, just like you could have used the word also. I would probably say as well as the dubbed version, and could even have that. Could even have that in brackets also. But I think we're far away from getting there, especially in small towns like where I live. I think that's good. In conclusion, every person has his, well, not everybody's male, so let's call it his or her own interests and goals, and I don't have to oblige others to like the same things that I love. Again, using that combining word that we need to be able to frame that final verb and the pronoun before it. That said, I always recommend to try at least once or twice before giving up. Again, very, very minor, but in English we'd normally say to at least try once. It's just more a convention in that it's just more common to have the words in that order. But look, overall, really well written, only a couple very minor adjustments to be made. This author is obviously at a very high level. The vocabulary is fairly simple. I think they can write more complex vocabulary, but yeah, overall the grammar and the sentence structure and all that was really, really good. If anybody else has any more Word documents that they would like to send me, please don't hesitate to send it to danieljteaching@gmail.com, and yeah, I'll give a little video review when I can. Thank you so much for your time.